Hey guys, what's up? This is Dr. Craig Banks and Dr. Jim Morgenstern with Optimal Function. We're here with our guest today, Dr. Nick Colosi from Smart Tools. You may wonder what these guys are on our arms. These are blood flow restriction cuffs, and Nick's going to explain this a little bit, then he's going to get us all set up. We're going to go through a little bit of a training protocol and show you guys also how it works. So, Dr. Nick.
Thanks, guys. So blood flow restriction training, basically a nice little hack in the weight room that you can use to lift at a lighter weight to mimic heavier loads. So it's great for in-season training, early stage rehab, or if you're a bodybuilder working out 6-7 days a week to offload your joints, you can lift lighter loads to mimic heavier loads.
Awesome. All right, so we're gonna go get tuned up here. We're gonna go get everything set up. We don't have all the pressure right now in the cuffs. We're gonna do that right now, and then we're gonna be right back for some training. All right, guys, we're back. I'm gonna let Dr. Nick explain what he did with us off camera.
So what we did, when we inflate the BFR cuffs, we want to make sure that there's a pulse, obviously, before we start. So we bring the artery to occlusion. So we're checking their radial pulse, and then as soon as the radial pulse is gone, then we back it off by a percentage of what the pressure gauge says. So if the pressure, if there's an occlusion at 200 millimeters of mercury, then we back it off to about 100 millimeters of mercury. That's what's called his optimal LOP, limb occlusion pressure.
Cool. And we're gonna start working here a little bit. While we're doing curls, Nick's gonna explain kind of the rep scheme that usually gets us to failure.
So we wanna start off with a set. You're gonna do about 4 to 5 sets, pretty much get to failure is the goal of BFR. So we're gonna start with 30 reps, then we're gonna take a 30-second rest in between sets. And the cuffs are gonna be inflated the entire time. So there's no releasing them, it's just continuous. So 30 reps, 30-second break, then we're gonna go to 15 reps, 30-second break, another 15 reps, a 30-second break, and then if you got another one in you, go for it. But usually by that time, you're usually gassed. As far as weight goes, they're using 20 to 30% of their 1 rep max. You can also do body weight with this as well.
Ooh. So this is something that I don't feel that you could really do a massive squeeze with.
I'm trying, and it's just not
I feel
happening.
like I'll pass out.
Yeah.
If I tried to go with a full squeeze, like my typical bodybuilding, let me really squeeze at the end, I will drop to the floor right now.
And my cuffs went on about 3 minutes before Craig's, so I'm not sure I can really feel my arms right now.
Yeah,
So if you start
I think I got to the 30.
So now you do a 30-second break.
Okay.
Now if you start to get numbness at any time, these cuffs have a quick release valve on them, so if you start to get a little numbness or a little tingling in the hands or the arms, you can release the valve a little bit to release about 5 to 10 millimeters of mercury of pressure.
Yeah, and I may have to have you do that for me just a little bit.
Just for example purposes.
Just for demo. Just for demo purposes, right? Whew. I just don't want to be dropping over here on camera.
I'm feeling all right.
This one though, yeah.
This one.
Ready for 15? So 15 now?
15 now?
Another 15.
There we go.
That was actually, that's a big relief for me.
Feeling good, yeah.
Yeah, now I'm human again.
So the end goal here is just to get to volitional failure, right? So I mean, you can also drop weight if you need to, but yeah, usually you're feeling it. Second set, when all that lactate builds up, all those metabolites build up, you're feeling it.
Okay.
Lost count. No, you're at 15. So in fairness, we both did a pre-workout. Dr. Jim and I both did Phil Heath Labs Dream Killer probably about a half an hour before we started this. So we've already got a little bit of extra blood flow and into the area. So now we've
Thanks a lot, Phil.
Yeah, way to go. All right, and
So we're on our next 30-second
break right now.
Okay,
Yep.
And then what, 15 reps?
So what we're doing right now is that the cuffs will give 100% venous occlusion. So the blood is not leaving the muscles, but it provides about 50 to 40% arterial restriction. So the blood is going into the muscle, it's just not getting out. So that's why you have that cell swell effect,
Ready?
the metabolites building up.
Woo.
This
Yeah,
is
buddy.
usually the set, yeah, this is usually the last one.
Now with someone having like a lagging body part, Could they continue with that
Motor
lagging for
recruitment.
one more? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So my left, I think, just a little bit behind my right. Jim, I think you're right behind
yep.
left. So I'll end up doing maybe
I'll do another set. Yep.
10 or so.
And you're using 10 pounds and you're using 5.
Yep.
Now,
So
in
it's very
fairness,
lightweight.
Very humbling.
Yeah. In fairness, I normally on a set like this, I'd probably be using somewhere in the vicinity of 40 to 50 pound dumbbells. So, you know,
I'm usually doing 100.
yeah, of course. Of course you are, Jim. All right, so last 30 seconds,
Yep.
and we're just going to do
one.
the unilateral this time.
You can do pretty much any tempo that you want. Sometimes some people like to concentrate on eccentric contraction, others just concentric. Really depends on what your training program calls for. That's the beauty about BFR. You can integrate it to really much anything. There's guidelines, you know, the 30, 15, 15, and 15 rep and set scheme, but there's really no limits of what you can really do.
Set these on down there.
So we keep it for like 30 more seconds for the final, and then you just take them off?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're done,
Yeah, so we'll.
Okay.
Now, if we decide to do triceps, is it smart to release these first? And
release them
redo?
first and then
Okay.
put them back on, yeah.
So I think
Give it
that's
a
probably
break.
what we're going to do. We're going to give our arms like a quick minute here, and we're going to come right back and do some tricep stuff.
Cool.
All right, guys, we're going to move on to triceps now. So we're going to be using the cable ropes. Nick's going to coach us through here, and we're already still feeling the pump from the bicep work, but he just re-pumped everything back up. We took a break. He's going to talk a little bit about how everything's working in the screening process before you ever start using this while we're doing our set.
All right, my friend.
Hopefully you chose a good weight for me.
I think I did.
Okay.
So these guys are going same rep scheme, 30, 15, 15, 15, 30-second break in between. Again, you know, that's just a general rep scheme. The goal is just to get the volitional failure, however way you get there, for a healthy population. You guys feeling it?
I feel like you can squeeze a little bit differently
Yeah.
on this one.
Pumped up to the same pressure. Very big important to note the screening process for BFR. You're not going to just throw this on anybody and just start doing it. Always get this cleared with your healthcare professional before you start any exercise program, especially BFR. You know, if you have a history of DVT within the last 6 months, you're pregnant, hypertension, things like that are no-goes for BFR.
So I felt like I could go a little bit more of a squeeze with that. I felt like maybe my tricep, because of the fact that we're straightening our arm, gave me a little bit more freedom to get that normal squeeze that I would expect during a bodybuilding training session.
But now did you just feel that, I don't know if you just felt that delayed pulse, but holy.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know how well, I'm not usually super vascular all the time, but right now it's there. It's there. So I did bump up a little. Do you want to bump up, or were you okay with that?
I'll stay. You ready?
All right, let's do it.
What's kind of nice too is you can almost feel the posterior delts like lock the scap in a good position as well.
So you guys notice these guys are using really low weight, and they're feeling it. You know, you're not going to be using 80, 70% of your one rep max. That's just not possible with doing it with BFR. You'll probably pass out or give up prior to doing that.
I think what'll be funny is to go back and look and see how off we were counting.
Yeah, I
You're just like, I'm
guarantee
just
the
trying to-
first. I'm at least trying to think about it now, but the biceps, it wasn't even happening because it was such a new experience for me. So
All right, that's starting to get.
yeah, it's getting a little bit tighter now. I'm starting to feel it. I'm feeling a little bit, not tingle, not numb, but I feel the pressure coming through. And I think a little bit of redness obviously is normal. We'd expect that.
It'll go away. Yeah.
You know, you're not. I don't want to be purple, right? But a little
You
bit of
said
redness.
you'd be white north
White,
of it. and
yeah,
then
you'll
a
be
little
light
discolored
up
south.
above it and dark red below it.
Yeah, I'm not
you
gonna
know.
publish that.
Obviously, if you start to feel lightheaded, you stop.
That's where I was at on that first round.
Yeah, or reduce the pressure, especially with numbness is usually the tipping point. Usually if you start to get numbness in your arms, release the pressure. Again, there's a release valve on the cuffs that you can just release the pressure and then just keep going on with your workout. This is good for a finisher. You don't want to start with BFR. I mean, you can, but it's recommended really to use it as a finisher.
How many days a week could you get after this?
Usually 2 to 3 days a week. Research has shown that's really not more effective if you do more than 3 days a week. It's great to do it for offloading days, especially with bodybuilders, 6 days a week. If you're working out, it's good to offload the joints every once in a while. You can still maintain those hypertrophy gains with lifting much less weight.
Nice. And I think I bumped up a little bit more. We have one more set. I'm not going to do the unilateral here just because we've got a double rope, but I feel like I can handle one more set with the tris.
Oh yeah.
What set are you guys on, 3?
This will be 4. So we did a 30, and this will be our
third of the 15.
Third of the 15. Got it.
So in review, 30 reps, rest 30 seconds. 15 reps, rest for 30 seconds. 15 reps, rest for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And if you got it in you, one final set of 15 reps, and then you rest for 30, take them off.
Right. And now, again, for reference, I'm looking at on this one, I'm probably about a fourth. I'm topping out at a fourth of what I would normally use.
I'm very comfortable where I'm at. I'm uncomfortably comfortable. Or comfortably uncomfortable. Here we go. I'm going to try to go for a little more squeeze on this last one.
I'm also slowing down the negative on this guy here.
We get questions a lot. Why can't I just use a rope or a voodoo floss band or crazy things?
It's non-specific.
It sounds very specific. Right? Yeah, it's not quantifiable.
It's
you can't. Yeah. It's not consistent from workout to workout. You don't know how much pressure or restriction you're applying. It can be dangerous too. You can be fully occluding a limb with a voodoo floss band, and you don't want to be working out a full occlusion, meaning your artery and your veins are completely occluded. That's not the goal.
So, are we going to try to do anything lower extremity on camera? Okay. So we're going to come back. We're going to come back in a minute. We're going to do a little bit on the lower extremity. Probably won't be as easy to see some of the stuff that we have been seeing with the arms as far as the pump, but we really just want to try it because for your benefit, you'll laugh at seeing us fail miserably. All right?
Yep.
We'll be right back. All right, so Jim's going to start here. What we've got set up right now is he's got one cuff on his lagging leg, which is his left side. He doesn't quite feel as much neurologically sometimes in that one. So he's going to go ahead and do a set. Even though he's doing both legs here, he's going to go ahead and do this more than anything just for comparison purposes.
How's it feeling going down?
You know what? You can feel there's just much more of like a mind-muscle connection because something's back there. Like kinesthetic.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But now if I were to control like the eccentric, that's starting to get tough. I can feel the whole leg starting to fill up.
Yeah.
With blood and not even close to what the right side's feeling like. You're next, don't worry.
And then we're looking specifically again here for a difference. Now easily you could train with both of them on, but since we wanted to, this is a demo, this isn't really necessarily a workout, more than anything a demo. We're just trying this out to do a single. Easily again, you could do both legs at the same time.
Oh yeah. Nick, I knew when you asked me that you had something up your sleeve. It's getting real right now.
Right?
Now I'd imagine 30 is probably pretty tough for leg comparative, because I know that just the sheer amount of blood
30.
flow to the legs is different, so I'm sure that that's a little bit more intense to try to get 30 reps.
Yeah, and in picking the correct weight too. I mean, I feel like you got the correct weight, but that's most important, just because people, you got to check their ego when they do BFR. You can't lift close to the weight that you're normally lifting.
Yeah, I would imagine that a lot of folks in the gym would have a hard time doing this. They really have to take a step back and look at what their training goal is. You know,
Exactly.
Much like people who are cheating on reps or doing horrible form, and this is not something that would lend itself to that type of mentality.
Right. Yeah. No, this is not go full bore. You know, and you really got to take a step back, and there's a learning curve with that.
Oh my God.
So usually the average set or the average exercise for BFR would be about 5 minutes. You really don't want to go over 5 minutes, just as a general safety protocol.
And I think what we're going to do is we're going to let Jim torture himself for this last set here, and then I'm going to go on here, and then we're going to come back and show you a quad exercise with me doing that here in a moment.
All right, guys, so now we're gonna be working a portion of the leg. This is gonna be targeting the quads. So Craig's gonna start with his 30 rep scheme. Nick, if you wanna tell him too that you inflated it in the position of
Sure, yeah, we inflated the position he's gonna be exercising in. So you can start to see the different color change. Now for the clinical population, we always recommend to measure the limb occlusion pressure and inflate it in the supine position. But for a healthy population, for exercise purposes, you want to inflate it in the exercise position.
How we feeling?
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting. The difference is absurd, right to left. My left is my weaker leg. I have had 2 knee surgeries here going back several years, and I know that I don't fire as well with that left quad. This kind of was my reason for cutting powerlifting, and I'm going to use it as my excuse for having smaller legs on stage in bodybuilding, but I probably just need to train legs more. But I'm actually looking forward to this because I feel like I can maybe catch this leg up and get a little bit more training that's very hard and stimulating on the muscle, yet not so taxing on my knee.
You're good.
What weight are you working at?
Right now I am working at a whopping 20 pounds. Typically, if I was doing a set of 30, I'd probably be doing somewhere around 100. And I noticed that as I go forward, and we talked about this a little off camera, my range of motion starts to decrease as far as the leg goes, because as I thicken this up, the band's just not, the cuff's just not going to let me go any further. And that's okay. Nick said just stop at the end range that I can get to, because of course we're still working the muscle. And this is not, in the bodybuilding world, this is not something that you need to get that very end to squeeze like you talked about with the bicep. It wasn't even possible if we tried. So we don't need to have that full extension with this, because we're still getting the benefit of the cuff itself. And I don't know how well you can tell, but there's a really big difference on the color of my leg, left to right. And actually right now, the amount of blood that I have in this left leg makes my left leg dwarf.
Look at you can see the height difference.
Dwarf my right one.
Should have got the tape measure.
Yeah.
I thought about doing the before and after. Like we could have done something here and then, right after.
Counting reps is not really
my strong suit.
Doesn't really work so well when you're doing these. You try to do your best, I think, but I know that this round was different. Jim's keeping time for me here, so.
Got 5 more seconds.
Yay.
And then all of this will be over shortly.
This will be my 3rd set of 15 here, and then I'll probably do some, oh boy.
It's an efficient workout. It's quick, because you only can last for so long.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get to 15 with this on this leg. I'm gonna drop actually a little bit, so.
So you dropped about 10 pounds?
I dropped, yep, I think I've got the lowest possible weight on there now, and I can at least sort of get the range. And then I'm just gonna finish with a couple of these, which is pointless because I'm not doing anything at all. So I think that's as far as I'm gonna go. So Jim's gonna do a little bit of air squats here, just so we can see what happens when we're doing no resistance training except for body weight. So we'll be right back.
All right, guys, so now I've got the smart cuff strapped around one leg, and we're gonna do some air squats just to feel the difference between something that's more weight bearing. Ready? Let's do it. Here we go.
How we doing there, Jim?
That's awful.
How we doing there?
I'm nervous to like
Just a second.
after this break, like even like bending the knee or hip. So the reason I'm in front of something like a pillar or a machine is I have a pretty good idea that at some point balance is going to be out the window, and I don't want to look like a fool. So
or hurt yourself.
wow.
How many how many air squats can you do normally?
I don't know.
I don't like
ever,
a lot.
No, I don't really ever like do them. But when I do them, they're usually high reps like this. But nothing ever feels like it normally does when something like this is on.
Sure.
It's very humbling. It's crazy. This is just body weight movement.
Yeah. That's why you can do it anywhere. You don't
Like
need
you
weight.
mentioned, you can travel with it. It's
travel
very
with
easy.
it.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Gotta love having Right Said Fred.
You had Backstreet Boys.
I had Backstreet Boys, and yeah.
Jermaine pumping out the tunes today. Wow. One more. Can anybody hear the song and not like want to crack a smile?
I'll overlay it
Right.
on the. I guess I can't do that for copyright purposes. If it's playing in the background, I don't think we have to worry about it. I'm actually impressed that Jim's getting full range here, getting all the way down, almost butt to heels type of squat, because I'm sure that his quad and hamstring are very full. I don't know if he's actually getting full range of motion or if he's just falling at the bottom.
Just getting the bottom. Help me out.
Good.
All right, that was it.
All right.
Awesome. You guys got to try this.
All right, guys, we just wrapped up our gym session. We're gonna go do the rest of our podcast interview with Dr. Nick. We wanted to give a nice thanks to Alpha Legends Gym for letting us train here and hopefully not disrupt everybody too much. And if you guys want more information about Smart Tools, number one, catch the rest of our videos and the rest of our interview with Dr. Nick, which will talk more about the science as opposed to just the practical application of it. And then, Nick, you want to tell them how they can find
Yeah, just for more information, go to smarttoolsplus.com. We have courses all throughout the U.S. and we sell globally. So, I mean, even if you're in Europe, you can buy our products.
And whether you're a provider like Dr. Jim and myself are, or just an average consumer or a bodybuilder, an athlete, whatever, keep an eye out for their new products that are always on the rise. They have other stuff for soft tissue mobilization, and they're always coming out with new stuff. Nick's a genius here, so keep an eye out, and we'll see you guys in a bit.